Japan has been intrigued as to how Chinese automakers like BYD managed to produce electric vehicles at such a low cost following a recent teardown of the BYD Atto 3, which launched in Japan in January 2023 at around €28,000. So participants at a recent EV seminar asked, how can it be made so affordably? I'm just surprised that the Japanese, not so long ago, were the engineering giants of the world, at the top of their game. I think everyone kind of respected them for making things simply and well, also with cost, being cheap as well in mind for ordinary people. These days they're sticking lots of gimmicks on their cars and becoming much more expensive and premium feeling. They were surprised at the integrated parts like the 8-in-1 e-axle from BYD, which includes the motor, inverter and the reducer gear, which was designed to reduce costs effectively and make things a bit simpler to produce. Why the heck would Toyota be surprised at that? Why would Japanese companies be surprised at that? That's their strong point, isn't it? Especially in the age of Tesla, where we see companies like Tesla do this all the time now with their Gigapress and things like that. Since the Atto 3's debut, BYD has introduced two more EVs to Japan, the Dolphin and the Seagull, both priced really well at €23,000 and €30,000 respectively. The Seagull, launched in June 2024, seen as BYD's response to the Tesla Model 3, quickly became Japan's top-selling imported EV by August, within 2 months. So Japanese officials and companies are now examining the factors behind BYD's competitive pricing, especially its vertical integration. They could have just asked Ursula von der Leyen, if you ask me. That would have made things a lot quicker. Can anybody else see where this might be going in the next 12 months in Japan? I've got an inkling. A recent event hosted by the Central Japan Economic and Trade Bureau, attended by over 70 Japanese auto parts companies, showcased EVs from around the world. The vehicles like Tesla Model Y, the Neo ET5, they were both there, but the BYD Atto 3 received by far the most attention, mainly because of its low cost. And it looks quite good, actually, don't they? BYD's vehicles significantly cheaper in China, with the Atto 3 priced under €18,500 and the BYD Seagull starting at under €9,500. I think it's €9,300 today at today's rates. So the price advantage, largely due to BYD's producing all of their stuff in-house. Initially, they were a battery manufacturer and tech manufacturer. They produce things like iPads and things like that. So they're very, very good. But they now produce 16.4% of the global battery market, all the batteries in the world, 16% of the global market. This price advantage is largely due to BYD producing almost everything on their cars, all of the components apart from tyres. Initially, they were a battery manufacturer and a tech manufacturer, producing things like Apple iPads. And then they went into cars. Now they've got 16.4% global market share for batteries in 2024. So 16% of the market share globally for all batteries produced. Since batteries account for a substantial portion of an EV's cost, I'm not going to pretend that anybody really knows what it is, but it's probably about 40%, roughly. Probably used to be a lot more than that. BYD's in-house production is a key factor in its cost efficiency. That's a big part of it. Clearly, that's a big part of it. They produce all their stuff themselves. There are no middle people involved. Contrary to popular belief, though, it isn't the Chinese government giving lots of money to BYD that makes their cars so cheap. That just has helped them. Clearly, that has just helped them. The Dolphin, priced competitively against the Toyota Prius and the Nissan Leaf, in Japan anyway, is built almost entirely by BYD. Only the windows and tyres they don't do. Everything else is their own work. So their 8-in-1 e-axle, electric axle, which consolidates several components, further reduces production costs, which is really, really nice. And the fact that they don't paint the backs of their bonnets. I'm just kidding. That's just a gripe of mine. I just think that's really stingy when they don't do that these days. The level of polish when you open a bonnet and you see there's no shine on it. That just really disappoints me, honestly. Some people agree, some people don't care at all. So Japanese automakers like Toyota have been really slow to warm up to EVs, with only 1.5% of their vehicle sales in 2024 being full electric vehicles. Which is not very good, is it? But it's more than it used to be last year, for sure, because it was even smaller than that. Toyota has promised new technology and next generation models, like for example the Camry now can only be purchased as a hybrid in America, which is I suppose you could say it's a bit of a deal. I'm sure to them it feels like they're pushing the bounds of what's possible, but yeah, it's a step in the right direction, I suppose. Toyota has promised this anyway, that's what they've said, but they also promise, I don't know, every 3 to 4 years they're always making big claims on Twitter and in the media of solid state batteries just around the corner with, a 600-mile range. So I don't know whether we should believe much of what they say, honestly, as much as I love Toyota. BYD continues to expand into international markets, having sold more cars than Nissan and Honda in the second quarter of 2024, and has now set new sales records every month since, which is mad, which is really, really crazy. So I think also this year, I think it was, they had their sales target was 3 million. They actually halfway through the year moved it to 4 million because they were doing so well. So that's pretty cool, I think. As opposed to Ford, who produced, I think, 1/17 or something of the target for the F-150. So not very good at all. My last video was also talking about the factory in Turkey from BYD that they're making, which was fascinating to talk about. I'll put that at the end on the left side of the screen for you, I think. Feel free to watch that. Really interesting stuff. Thank you for watching. I'm Ben Alexander, and thank you very much for all the lovely comments. Some really, really nice comments this morning. I woke up and I was looking on the internet, saw some really cool ones, so thank you. Also, thanks to those people that are chipping in with your thoughts, because some people have some really fascinating thoughts. Feel free to subscribe and enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Feel free to have a browse of my videos. Click on the videos tab, just have a look down, see what you're interested in. I think there's a few hundred videos on my channel now, lots of them. I'm also aware that I may have made a slight mistake in how I referred to the percentages in the last video. It's not my proudest moment, if I'm honest, but I won't get into that. You just click on the last video, look in the comments, you'll see.